My name is Szekeres, and I am from the junior at the CA and also a Ph.D. student at the Miskolc University. First of all, I want to thank my panel participants for attending this and to willingly speak about water law and their issues, so thank you. And thank you for Katya, wherever she is, maybe on tax law or something. She has another presentation, so she will not join us to the afternoon section. So my presentation will be about legal aspects of water services in Romania. First of all, I wanted to clarify that I will not talk about everything. I just cherry-picked a little information, what I thought it will be important for us to discuss today, and a little bit of nicks and knacks, very interesting things about our legal system and our water services. Okay, so for introduction, I want to say a few words about Romania and that Romania in 2007 joined the EU, which came with commitments to comply with these the EU water directive. We had the deadline, which we missed multiple times, so that was fun. It contained legal obligations, included significant investments and capacity building. We are still working on that. Romania had limited access in 2007 to safe water supply, so about 50% of the population had access to it. After 2007, an extensive legal and institutional reform was initiated, and a regionalization policy was initiated also from 2005, but the main focus was on 2007 till 2013. So what we know about our constitution and the property of the water, who owns water. So in Article 135 of the Constitution, we can clearly see that water is under public property. We can see that it exemplifies waters with hydropower availabilities and also territorial waters, natural resources. But at the fifth point, we can also see that public-owned assets shall be inalienable, but they may be taken over for administration by self-managed public companies or public institutions, or maybe leased or granted in concession in accordance with the law. So that is a very important thing, that yes, it's public property, but it can be given into concession, through concession. So, to frighten you a little bit, I'm showing you a picture about a pumping station in the time of this constitution from 91. So this was the state that the pumping station was in. You can see that it does not look good or safe. So we shall see what happened in the meantime from then. So why is this so relevant? Why we have to talk about these water-related challenges? And this exemplified in a number scale. We can see a horrendous number up there. That is the total annual estimated cost to address all water-related challenges. And this can be also broken down into pieces, and we can see that access to drinking water, access to sanitation, water management, also it's a big proportion, a big chunk of this money, and we need a big funding for these to work and to be safe for the citizens. So, what we know about the definition of water services. The definition of water services in Romania is primarily defined in accordance with the Water Framework Directive. So, water services encompass activities related to the abstraction, impoundment, storage, treatment, and distribution of surface or groundwater. These services are provided to households, public bodies, and economic activities. Today, I want to focus on the A point. We will not touch upon the wastewater management. In some cases, you will see some examples, but it's just purely because it's in the law, and I don't want to talk about it more about that. So today we will just focus on the A point. So what is in Romania? Which acts are talking about water services? So we have a special law governing water services. This is law number 241 from 2006. The unitary legal framework concerning the establishment, organization, management, financing, operation, monitoring and control of the supply of the public water supply and sanitation service to localities that is established in this. And also the provisions of this law apply to the public water and sanitation service organized at the level of municipalities, towns, departments, and also intermunicipal development companies whose purpose is water and sanitation. So what happens when we are not complying with this law? So law number 241. The non-compliance is defined in law number 51 from 2006, and it here we can talk about just fines that can be given, and we have two groups here. Fines that range from 100 euro to 200 euro. These fines are targeted to customers. So we can see that we have refusal of users to allow access to measuring, recording devices, failure of users to meet individual metering action deadlines, unauthorized connection to public utility networks, use of public utility services without a contract. And the second range, it's also in Article 47 from this law. And here we have these fines ranging from 2,000 euros to 4,000 euros. And this is targeted to the operator. Like the operator refuses to allow users to access to consumption recording devices, or they are unjustifiably delay the connection of new users, or they impose inadequate connection solutions. So water management, what we can see here is what happened from 2005 and how it is nowadays. So the water management sector is in the process of regionalization still. The regionalization of water services has been designed and planned to overcome the excessive fragmentation of the sector. As you can see up there with red and green dots, it was very fragmented and very hard to understand who is with who. From an institutional point of view, regionalization took place through the reorganization of existing public services held by municipalities. The aim was to create around 50 large operators by merging existing local utilities into regional operating companies, ROCs. These major regional operators are the public service operators of the intermunicipal development associations, or IDAs, whose members are local authorities. As you don't have to count, but there are no 50 of these. There are just 43 large operators on the map here. And also you can see on the map that we have a red circle, where we can see two large municipalities, Bucharest and Ploiești. These are covering 9% of the population with water services and have delegated the management of their water and sanitation to private operators. Water services here are provided by subsidiaries of the Veolia group. I think that most of the people heard about them. They are not just in Romania, they were in France and also all around the world. And this concession is for 25 years. So in this area we have private service providers. And just here in Romania. Moving on, yes, responsibility. So, who is responsible? The National Regulatory Authority of Community Services and Public Utilities, or NRSC, is responsible. This is placed under the authority of the Ministry of Public Administration and Regional Development and European funds. We will understand why this is here later on, before the conclusion. And this is in charge of issuing licenses of water supply and sanitation services. The authority is also in charge of providing the tariffs collected to these services. So also tariffs. The policy and sector institutions, we will talk about this next. And we have a little picture here to better understand what I am talking about. You will see R is for regulation, P is for policies, I is for investments, and S for service provision. So, the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development is the ministry responsible for the development of water management policies and strategies, and this is coordinating with the EU integration as well. The Ministry of Environment and Spatial Planning is the ministry responsible for the developing and to implement the water sector policy. It is responsible also for regulatory benchmarking as well, and managing EU cohesion funds. The National Administration of Romanian Waters, this includes 11 river basins, and it authorizes and it's under the authority of the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development as well. They are responsible of implementing national policies and strategies related to the qualitative and quantitative management of water sectors. The National Utilities Regulatory Agency, this was created by law in 2006, and this is responsible for regulating utilities, and this is also, and this includes also water as a utility. And the last, the Ministry of Health, which is responsible for controlling the quality of drinking water. So access to water. So we have a little data here, and this is very current from 2023. I mean, for 2022. but it was this year that we had these data. So safe water we have 80%, piped water we have 41%, adequate sanitation 68%, and sewage networks only 53%, but we are not discussing this in more detail because we have to move along with this big slide. Here we can see a comparison between the 2010s and the 2020s, so past and more recent data, and we can observe that water supply access grew a little, not much, but a little. Public pipe water supply also this was exponential when we see the data. And what is also interesting or important, that the in-house bathrooms only increased by 1% of in urban and also in rural areas. So this is just some very interesting facts about how our percentage is developing under 10 years, so 10 to 12 years. So tariffs, we have to talk about the tariffs when we talk about water services as well. The general principle of adjusting prices and tariffs is defined in the Law 51 of 2016, and these tariffs are based in compliance with the calculation methodology established by the ANRSC. Tariffs in Romania have increased faster than general inflation since 2008, and in 2015 water tariffs accounted for 5% of the average household disposable income. In 2020 this percentage was 3.9%, and it's from every year it's between 4 and 6, so this percentage. The introduction of socially adjusted tariffs could address affordability concerns. This is very important point because from one of the reports that I read, not just one, multiple, said that 70% of the Romanian population could afford a higher tariff, and if it would be more proportionate, the full cost recovery would work much better. So the tariffs cover operating and maintenance costs. Tariffs represent more than half of the sector's funding sources. Water and sanitation services largely depend on transfers to finance their investments, which represent 55% of the sector's overall costs. So tariffs usually follow the 3T approach, which is it was developed by the and highly suggested by the OECD. And this is very important when we talk about full cost recovery and the sustainability of our water services. And also about tariffs, I want to say that the pricing method is based on a purely volumetric approach with an annual adjustment in consideration of inflation, and we have an average price here like 1.26 euro yes, what I was saying, excluding VATs. Yes. And moving on, so we are in a full circle because we started the compliance with the EU, and we will finish with the compliance with the EU. I want to talk about a little about the government emergency ordinance from 30th of December of 2021. This was the Romanian government approved a significant reform, but before that I want to mention that the primary source of funding for water and sanitation infrastructure in Romania in the past decade had been grant funding from the EU, and still is, national and the national support program. This finances individual municipalities, while the EU funds support ROCs. And it's very important that the National Recovery and Resilience Plan was made, and this is fully funded by the EU. And we have some key amendments that they proposed, and also the National Recovery and Resilience Plan covers the water services, the upgrade of water services, and the modernization of it. So one of the key amendments I want to talk about a little bit is that water operators from now are obliged to establish tariff strategies based on efficiency-focused plans for providing public services, and this have to span about a 5-year period, and this has to be also approved by the ANRSC. Yes, it's very hard to say that. So, in conclusion, the completion of the regionalization of water services, as indicated in the sectorial operational program, could contribute to the improving of the quality and the access to water and sanitation. As we could see, Romania is not yet did not meet the EU water standards, and for an estimate, we still require about 22 billion euros for compliance, meeting these compliances. And also, I want to line again the OECD 3T approach that is very important for full cost recovery. And as a closing remark, or before that, the tariff affordability because of this 3T is concerned because of the expected increases in tariffs. So, as a closing remark, I have to say that I always have facts. I don't have facts for closing remarks. I always have questions. And now I will just leave you with this, that I don't know how the PNRR or National Recovery and Resilience Plan will work out in the end, and how good it will modernize our public the water services, but I am eager to see that this PNRR going into fruition. So with that, thank you for your attention.